Welcome back to another edition of Courting Cinderella here on the Field of 68 Media Network. I am joined by UC Riverside head coach Mike Magpayo to break down the UC Santa Barbara Gauchos. That is a mouthful to say. Let's start with this, Mike. They won the Big West tournament. What is it about them that allows them to be as efficient as they are on the offensive end?
Well, first off, I think Coach Pasnick does a great job. They've always been top of the league in efficiency. They spread you out, but also, their talent. You talk about the player of the year and their point guard, AJ Mitchell, a 6'5" point guard who can score, pass, and then their front court are high major transfers, and Andre Kelly and Cal from Cal, and Miles Norris from Oregon, and then their wing is a transfer from Temple with high major professional pro athleticism. So yeah, I mean, they spread you out. They can all shoot, and they all move the ball.
So AJ Mitchell, you just mentioned him. When you're going up a level, right? They're probably going to end up as like a 14 or a 15 seed, somewhere in that range. You're going up a level. You're going to be playing against a top 10 team. Let's just call it what it is. How do you see him adjusting and transitioning to playing, some of these high major potential future NBA players?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a potential future NBA player himself. So I don't think he's going to be rattled. But I think the one thing you try to do is you try to pressure him and bother him in the full court, because they want to get into their long developing offensive sets. But to credit Coach Pasnick, what he's done in the last 10 games, they had a few injuries. He's adjusted and kept it really simple and kept the ball in his hands as much as he can. And then AJ Mitchell's produced at a high level closing the season. So seems like he is ready for anything right now, and he closed the season really strong here.
So you mentioned Miles and you mentioned Andre and you mentioned Josh Pierre-Louis. Which one of those guys do you think is kind of like the X factor? Who has to play well outside of AJ for Santa Barbara to be at their best?
I think Andre Kelly and Miles Norris, I think they both do. I think Miles Norris is kind of coming on here. He went 3 for 3 from 3 against us. And, we've done a good job limiting that, but he can really shoot it. And he's big. I mean, you can contest him all you want, but he's a 6'10", 6'11" four-man. And then Andre Kelly, I mean, you need him to do the job inside for you to give him an inside-outside. So Andre Kelly gives him the outside. Gives them the inside presence, and then Miles Norris gives you the outside presence. But both of them are long, athletic defenders. And actually, that's Santa Barbara. They're talented defensively too. You talk about Pierre-Louis, so they're just all long, athletic, and you kind of look at them. You're watching like, why are they so good defensively? And it's just their length. They're well coached, but it's their length and athleticism.
Hey guys, just a reminder, our sponsor for today's episode is Run Your Pool. They are hosting the Field of 68 Bracket Challenge. This year, they are giving away $1,500 in free prizes. It's all an incentive for you to get on there and find out just how good their platform is. I've been using them for my bracket pools for years. I've used them for Super Bowl squares. I use them for everything that I need to use them for. The biggest survivor pool that I'm in for both NFL and NCAA tournament is by Run Your Pool. So go check them out. The link's below. Tap in. So what kind of teams would they maybe struggle with? What kind of matchup is going to be a bad matchup for them when this bracket comes out here in about 2 hours now?
I think a team that has that's going to pressure them and has depth. It depends on if any of their injured guys come back, like a Jari Sani for the tournament. But I think a team that's going to pressure them and bother them and in the full court that has depth and it can kind of come with numbers, because Santa Barbara, and this has been their identity the last 4 or 5 years, is they want to run their offense, and they want to run it to 20, 25 seconds in the shot clock, and they want to get a great shot. So somebody that's going to disrupt them and bother them, and then bring guys off the bench and challenge their depth, because right now they're kind of playing seven guys, I would say. So that'll be a team is somebody that has depth and that's willing to pressure them 94 feet.
All right, last one I got for you. If Santa Barbara is to become the next St. Peter's or UMBC or Florida Gulf Coast, or however you want to phrase it, what is the one most important thing that needs to happen?
They got to bang shots, and they're more than capable. They got to make shots, and again, they start 5 guys that can. Well, Pierre-Louis, he'll shoot them, but they start 5 guys that can score. So you're talking about Kelly, he can score inside. Norris, he can score outside and in. Pierre Louis, he kind of pushes the pace transition, and then obviously the player of the year and AJ Mitchell, and then Wishart, who's a transfer, and he's talented too, and he can make threes and make shots. So they're going to outscore you, and they're just going to be extremely efficient offensively, and that's how they get it done.
Mike, the Big West is always a thorn in some of these high major team sides. We will see if UCSB has a chance to pull off an upset here very shortly. Always a pleasure catching up, man. Thanks for jumping on Courting Cinderella.
Thanks, Rob.